Okay, guys, the theme for this part is Houston, we have a problem. Um, uh, Last week, my next door neighbor's air conditioning went out on them, and they mentioned it to us. I said, hey, I have one of those little rolling portable air conditioning units that vents out of a window. You're welcome to borrow it. We don't use it in this house. I had it from the old house. Feel free. And they were like, oh, thank you so much. That's great. I love helping people out whenever possible. It gives me joy to be able to help people out. Do you want anything? Hey, can we do anything later on? They're going to invite us over for dinner, and I'll appreciate that. And we'll get, that's great. Thanks so much. I'll be, thank you again for lending us your air conditioner. We really appreciate it. It made a terrible situation less terrible. I said, no, anything I could do. Happy to help a neighbor. Oh boy. Yesterday or the day before, I was in my driveway getting out of the car. I was fuming about an irate woman driver in a white Lexus SUV, honking horns and trying to cut me off and being a general douche on the highway. It happened again tonight, actually. Either way, the neighbor said, hey, thanks again for lending us your AC unit. Our AC finally got fixed after 4 days. Do you want it back? And I said, well, you know what? I actually, we don't really need it right now. And I was tired. It was a long day. And I was like, we'll come get it maybe over the weekend or something. Oh, big mistake, guys. So our AC unit just went out. And it's a big boy. It's one of those big train jobs. And I hope it's not much more than just the fan on the outside unit that circulates air through the coils. If you know anything about those outdoor units, basically it's a compressor and a big coil, big radiator, and then a big fan, and it sucks the air through the coils, and that's how the whole outside system works for the most part. I can get more technical, but basically the fan isn't spinning, and the compressor seems to be running, but the compressor shuts off after, a minute or so, because the head pressures probably build up. We're getting into AC terminologies. Either way, if air is not flowing through the coils in your outside unit because the fan's not running, the compressor is going to be doing its thing, expecting air to be flowing through those coils, and there's usually a cutoff switch of some form that just Either way, there's no AC upstairs. The main AC is out. Luckily, we have a little add-on sunroom thing, which has one of those mini split systems. So worst case scenario is we have to sleep in the sunroom with the dog tonight, which should be interesting since we've been having a lot of late-night issues with him having to go potties of various forms. That being said, Houston, we got a problem with the Leopard 2A6. And it is this problem, and I've fired off an eBay message to kingkong-rc. They're really disappointing me lately. So here's the issue. I'll show it to you right now. I did it on the forums today. I posted it. And so on this side we have the Schumo-kits idler arm, known to be a great aftermarket part. Okay? And I don't know if you guys can see this, but that front idler wheel is not kosher. It's leaning. It's leaning this way. It's off kilter. This side that we had the tracks on, you can see the paint has worn away on the inside of the idler wheel. And I put a stock Tamiya arm on here just to see if it's well, maybe the Hong Kong only works with the stock Tamiya arm. No. This guy is also off kilter by a good amount, okay? And I figured out what the problem is. I'll be right back. The air conditioning people are calling me. Alright, well, that was the HVAC service person calling me back very kindly. It is after hours, it's like 7-something at night. Family operation. Always prefer to deal with local family-owned businesses, and my phone app lost connection to the camera, as usual. And yeah, we're still recording. Stupid GoPro app. Issues. Oh, so where were we? Houston, we have a problem. These front idler arms are all friggin' cockeyed. You see the paint peeling off of that thing, because just having the track on here and literally just moving it a few times by hand, yeah, if these were plastic, they'd end up shaped like friggin' ice cream cones in short order. So I figured out the issue. Let me put this down for a second. kingkong-rc. Sorry, guys. Gotta blast you. Blasting you openly now. if we look at the stock chassis, okay, it's hard to get a good angle. This tapers in at the top. Now this is ABS, so this is fairly flexible. And when they injection mold this fella, you know, Tamiya is famous for doing really nice multi-part slide molds for a lot of things, and 3-part molds. Their polycarbonate RC bodies can have, you know, concave details that come under, whereas most RC bodies, they're always going to be at either a 90-degree angle vertically or out towards the outside of the shell, because you can't pop it out of the mold. What Tamiya uses, they'll use 3-piece sliding molds that will allow you to get curved bumpers underneath the body on a polycarbonate, you know, shell. That's hard to do. Only really, for the most part, I'm only aware really Tamiya is the only one that does that. Kyosho may have done it in the past as well. But that being said, this is also, you know, this is also ABS and not cast aluminum. So when this thing pops out of the mold, either it was a multi-part sliding mold or they just hedge their bets on the fact that it's still going to be semi-flexible and still pop out. So these angled in. So the Schumo-kits aftermarket idler arms, they're not the problem. They're fine. They're expecting this angle, though. And the cast aluminum bathtub from King Kong, look, you couldn't pop this out if these things were caved in. It just wouldn't work. It wouldn't come out of the damn mold. You'd have to pull it out while it's still soft and molten hot. You know, it would just turn into a puddle of mush. So these are perfectly vertical. I took a straight edge on a flat surface, and I confirmed that. They're perfectly vertical. So there's no way to really modify any of these parts properly to get these damn things to run true. And they, on their eBay listing, they've sold like, I don't know, 100 plus 200, how many hundreds of these things, I don't know. But nobody has straight front idler arms with this chassis. And if they don't notice, fine. But you run that tank enough, you're going to end up with either some warped up, screwed up tracks, or you're going to end up with a conically worn plastic idler arm. These are aluminum and they're going to have a rubber tire, but even that, it's kinematic bind. Oh, I used a big word there, sorry. It's just binding, you know, it's not going to be efficient. So what I did was, I got in touch with Robert Hearn over at Ito Armor, and I explained the situation to him, and this guy, he's a stand-up businessman in the aftermarket RC parts community for the tank people here. If I could buy AA batteries and laundry detergent from this guy, I would. He's just a really good guy to deal with, and Ito Armor, you know, ItoArmor.com is a great business to deal with. He's like, return them. Return the Schumo parts if they're not working. I said, no, dude, it's not your fault. It's not the Schumo parts' fault. Your products that you're selling from Schumo are fine. The part is as designed, and I put it on to the stock lower plastic thing, and everything was perfect. So I said, you know, send me the Hen-Tech idler system. And that has a tube going all the way across, and it's basically its own independent system that clamps in. And that'll index itself and give me straight, level front idler wheels. And I'm going to do that. You know, you have to drill out these holes on the stock plastic chassis to like 10 millimeter anyway. I'll drill these out. I'll abrade them. I don't necessarily want to put a step bit drill into this cast aluminum. I don't know if it's going to start chunking up and shattering. So I'll use like a die grinder with a graduated sanding bit that we'd use for like porting, porting intakes and heads on motor vehicles type of sanding bits, and I'll hog them out with an abrasion type device to the proper size, and then if there's any sort of gaps or pinching from probably the Hen-Tech system, expecting that few degrees of inclination on the chassis tub sides, you know, I'll deal with that. I'll fill in as needed. It's fine. The Hen-Tech system, I believe, should work okay with this. But even the stock Tamiya, if you built this with all the stock Tamiya parts, Hong Kong RC screwed up anyway. Hong Kong RC has this thing molded with perfectly vertical sides, and it needs to be canted in just a few degrees, okay? I don't know what you could do with these stock Tamiya parts to get them to be properly straight, but I don't want to find out. That's a big one, Hong Kong. You know, yeah, the tapping of the M3 holes in the chassis wasn't perfect, and it was kind of irregular depths, and one of my screws bottomed out and then sheared off because, they've already apologized for that and offered me a very trivial credit towards that. But I told them, hey guys, I just had to spend another $50 on a Hentech idler now, on top of the $35 I wasted on these things. And it's like, I'm like, you've cost me almost as much money in aftermarket parts and screws from Granger and all this other stuff, and sheer frustration. I'm like, this is defective product. This is defectively designed. It's beautiful, and the rest of it, it's pretty gorgeous. It's pretty awesome. But clearly, they had to make some compromises, and they also didn't really, follow up on their attention to detail so much. Overall, I'd still, I hate to say it, I'd still use this chassis just because it's so beef, and it is cast aluminum, and it's really cool. I like that it's got the metal texture to it, built right into the casting. It's nice. But either way, that aside, so we're dealing with that. I'll have my Hentech idler system from Ito Armor in a few days. Robert's expediting the order right now. It's at the Maryland warehouse. Might have shipped out today. Maybe ships out tomorrow. I should have it, Tuesday-ish, hopefully. My other Schumo-kits parts for this, mostly little like guards and handles and little bits and, the side view mirror bars and a couple other things. Those finally have some tracking updates. They've entered the United States on the slow boat from Germany. I order parts from Japan. If I pay $30 in shipping for parts from Japan, or $40 in shipping from parts from Japan or wherever, China, Hong Kong, those things go DHL Express. And then U.S. Mail treats them as Priority Mail Express International. Well, Axel's Model Bow, they shipped them out DHL International Parcel. The tracking number didn't even register half the places I tried to track it. And it took like 5 days to make it from Germany to Jersey City, which it's a little disappointing. They are supposedly going to be here Saturday, according to the USPS tracking, but I believe USP tracking, like the USPS tracking, I don't believe it until the package is in my hand, and they're like, oh, it delivered on Saturday. Okay, great. So maybe they're here Saturday. I hope so. I don't want to manifest problems. But it's already looking up today because the AC guy called me back. So I went ahead, and I did get my little metal Schumo-kits tow hooks and stuff from Ito Armor. Those came in. So I glued on the rest of the plastic bits on the back of the lower chassis tub. I'm leaving this masked off. This is that whole convoy marker. That's a piece of plastic with a clear bit in the middle, and then the little photo etch bit over it, and some decals. And hey, look, this is clearly something we can glue on at the end of the build. So I was hoping to have this whole lower bathtub like primed and painted and everything. That didn't happen, obviously. What we did do yesterday, in some of the time I had, is I did hunt down that broken fiber optic, and I replaced it. That issue is resolved. Had some little spewage from some of that epoxy. So I replaced the one fiber optic I did break, and I drilled through a little. A guy in the forums mentioned trying this, and it worked out well. So now I have all solid, non-broken fiber optic connections from the light board back here to the taillight areas. Like I said, the front, not too difficult. So this guy, and obviously the lower's ready for paint. I'm gonna, after I paint it, I might wait until I get my Hentech idlers before I start painting this guy up. But this upper now needs some accessories. Some things we can glue on, some things we can't. I'm going to do what I can before we have to start painting. And we're going to paint in stages because I wanna get a good paint job on it. And I don't know. It's not a 1/35th scale model. When you do the Andy's Hobby Headquarters things, he builds a 1/35th, he takes the tracks off, he just paints the whole thing. It's so easy. When you're dealing with this, because you have moving components, you have to be able to service in some way. You really kind of need to paint these tanks in stages. I mean, for those in the know, I'm not. I don't know how many hundreds or thousands of people have built the Tamiya Leopard 2A6 already. They know. You guys know. If you're new to this, though, or you're just in the process of starting the tank or building a tank, we're gonna paint this whole sucker up. Obviously, there's no tracks on it. We're gonna paint this whole thing up and get it to where we need it. Generally speaking, for this, you can mainly, if you're going with a box factory paint job, you could basically do this whole thing. You could do a highlight and shadow coat if you want. It's not necessary. It looks better at the end, in my opinion. But do that, and just NATO green the whole damn thing, for the most part, and you'll be good to go. If you want to get into individual wheel colors and things, I don't even know if that's in the paint manual. Hold on. Let me pull that out. Come on. Come out of there. Out of your little box. Yeah, no. So if we look at the painting guide, yeah, all the road wheels, all the running gear in the bottom, that's all NATO green. Obviously the tire. Alright guys, well, I'm sure everyone will be delighted to know we went over to the neighbors, we got our little portable AC unit back now that they have fully functional air conditioning. I got that sucker hooked up, and she's chooching as hard as she can, but I mean, it's got 2,000 plus square feet to try to cool off, so I have the central air on recirculate. You know, basically no air conditioning, just the fan blowing the air around the house. And I got this unit sitting in a central location in the home. So hopefully some of its cool air gets sucked into the return ducts and cools the whole house off a little bit. But I think we've resigned ourselves to sleeping in the sunroom with the dog, with ourselves locked in there. So we were just finishing up what we can get done tonight, which isn't a hell of a lot. I actually have quite a few accessory bits coming in from Schumo-kits from Germany. It would be so much easier if they were still supplying Edo Armor with everything. Apparently there was a change in ownership and leadership at Schumo, and they decided to stop stocking their previously exclusive U.S. distributor with bits. It's a sad thing. I'm not happy about that. I love dealing with Robert over at Edo Armor and Daryl Turner. You know, if you guys are on the forums and you don't know that name by now, you've heard it, and you're trying to figure out, who the hell is this guy? Daryl Turner's a really cool dude. I haven't met him. I'd love to meet him someday. If I'm ever heading up through Maryland, I'll make sure to drop Robert an email and make sure I can stop by Edo Armor's little warehouse and Magical Elf Workshop. So what we did do is we got this accessory bit glued on. We got a couple of these accessory bits glued on. We got some of those metal Schumo tow hooks on there, and if you see this hazy blue stuff, that's liquid mask. We've liquid masked off the headlights and the little corner markers, as well as this periscope. Even though I'm probably, this is kind of going to be a what-if tank, so I'm going to give it the same anti-reflective coating stickers, I think, as the M1A2 Abrams. It'll pop. They'll just they pop and they look cool. We got all of our side skirting installed with our little step handles. Now, I didn't order these from Schumo, even though I have them and they're functional and they actually swing. I'm kind of like, I don't know. I mean, you know what? I was already spending $30-something in damn euros shipping parts from Germany. I might as well just throw them in the order anyway. But I've got accessory bits 1, 2, and 3 from Schumo for this. So a lot of these itty-bitty little handles that are going to go places, those are all going to be metal. We've got our magnets glued in here under the fan housings. We got to, now we're going to mess with, you know, we're going to do some photo etch stuff. Again, we have our taillights. They're masked off. Oh, I got to throw a little liquid mask on these two spots here. But yeah, that's where we're at for tonight. I'm sorry we got interrupted by air conditioning drama of the homeownership variety. It's you know, unavoidable at times. But yeah, we're signing off tonight with the upper hull physically, you know, mostly complete. I mean, we get still some bits to glue on. Those go quickly though. My morale is kind of sunk for right now. None of this stuff is getting glued on here for the track link holders either, because apparently those are Schumo-kits, little accessory bits I ordered as well. So we're going to stop where we are for now. When you see me again, The wife always texts me when I'm filming. She bought a mirror at, I don't know, Home Goods? No, not Home Goods, not Ross. Was it Ross? No. It was another home store. There's so many of those damn home gobbledygook stores with all the decorations. It was something. Whatever. Gotta bring a mirror upstairs, I guess, when I'm done here. Yeah, the app says camera off again. No, the camera's not friggin' off. Sorry if that got loud. Just, whatever. Okay, so we're done for the night. Hey, now my app's back. Look at that. Look at us go. Yeah, that's it. That's it for tonight, guys. I'm sorry, this build. We've got fits and starts here going on because things, you know, it's mostly that damn Hong Kong RC chassis. It's super cool. It's as my brother up in Canada said. Well, not my real brother, but you know, like one of my YouTube brethren that talks a lot of random conjecture and digresses much on his videos. AVE says it's pretty skookum, as he says, but it does come with its baggage and its issues that we need to work around because it's cast aluminum. If it was like a pressed stamped aluminum thing, you know, we could just bend and play with it, but it's cast, so it's going to be brittle. The crystal structure of this cast hard aluminum, as Hong Kong RC, KingKong-rc says it is, cast hard aluminium. It leads me to believe it's a very brittle crystal structure of the metal. So, I mean, even if I got a blowtorch and I warmed it up, or like a plumber's torch that you get at Home Depot with a clicky start thing, and you know, cranked down with little pliers, I would probably destroy that thing just to make the either Schumo-kits or stock Tamiya plastic idler arms work on it properly. I decided, you know, just go with the Hentech, and we're gonna do the Hentech idler system on it. We're gonna remount those holes, and it's gonna be fine. And not only is it gonna be fine, this is gonna be one of the stoutest Leopard 2A6s ever built. Other than the transmission gears not having the metal final drive differential housings, because damn it, DKLM RC was out of stock. So it is what it is. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this tank. It's really nicely designed, other than some omissions. Tamiya, I don't know, it was a commission for the manufacturer of the tank, so I don't know if they cut certain corners because it was a commission, and they added a lot of details in other areas because it was a commission. They really wanted it to look nice, and maybe, you know, they wanted it to look perfect and perform really well, and all that stuff, and didn't care about durability. That's kind of where I'm leaning. Tamiya went with this. They were like, well, they're not going to be RC tank battling this thing. This is going to be to keep in the corporate headquarters or parade about the conference room or something. You know, it'd be cool. Like, you know, people put a model car of their real car on the hood of their car or in the interior at a car show. You got like a 72 Chevelle. You got a little 1/18 scale 72 Chevelle, the same color as your car, the same wheels and all that. I'm guilty. I'm guilty of that. My little 1/18 scale Ford Lightning and my 1/10 scale Tamiya RC Lightning, painted and deckled and wheeled similar to my real Ford Lightnings. And I go to a car show, I'm that douchebag with the little model car inside of it, little RC car outside of it, driving around. Yeah, I get it. That's kind of what I'm thinking for this. This was the car show RC tank for the tank manufacturer. And aside from certain complaints and quabbles I have, it's a beautiful kit. Beautiful. But yeah, that's that. We gotta wait for liquid mask to dry. I've got a little more liquid mask to do in the back, but next episode, hopefully we have some parts from Germany. Hopefully I'm getting painting. Hopefully, and then at some point early next week, because Ito Armor's nice and snappy on the deliveries, we'll get our Hentech idler installed in the lower hull, and our crooked idler wheels will no longer be crooked. They will be straight as an arrow. They'll be as straight as Steve Rogers' Captain America in a Marvel movie. They will be proper hetero idler wheels. There we go. No, I didn't break anything. Jeez. I get worried sometimes. These are aluminum. Can't break them that easily. So that's that. I'm going to go back upstairs where we don't have functioning central air and see how the living room feels, because oh God. Oh, my home office. The second bedroom. That's where I do my merging of videos and uploading of videos. Even when the AC is working right, that room is just that room in the house. Everyone has that room in their house that's always hot. It's like, why does the air conditioning not come in this room? It's always hot. I can imagine right now. It's probably like 88 degrees in that room. So, yeah, whatever. I'll suffer for my, now I think, 73 loyal subscribers. Thank you, everybody, for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, hell, it doesn't hurt to subscribe. It's not going to put you on a government watch list. When you go to board your flight to wherever you're going, just because you subscribe to Ian Schwartz's YouTube channel, it is not going to make the TSA pull you aside and give you a cavity search. So, in that regard, really, subscribing, it does no harm, as far as I'm aware. But who knows with big data these days? I mean, God knows the videos I've watched and the Google searches I've done just by hearing a news article and, But, I seem to be fine. TSA pre-checks are usually stamped on the boarding pass. So, don't worry. You can subscribe. If you like Demolition Ranch and you're subscribed to him, or you're subscribed to whatever other channels you're watching, you can subscribe to this safely. I think it's fine. First of all, I'm not even trying to, build the subscribers. I just have to do that thing, I guess. I feel peer pressure to say to subscribe. But I have 73 subscribers. I would need 10,000 before I got my first nickel. So I'm not really, it's not that. It's kind of, I'm really, you know what, I'm competing with my dog, okay? My dog Groot on Instagram. And if you want to find my dog Groot on Instagram, you look up groot.the.atl.bulldog. I know it's long. There's a lot of Groot the Bulldogs. Apparently there's more than one in Atlanta. I don't know. My puppy Groot has been on this planet for less than 9 months. And he has more followers on Instagram than I have subscribers on YouTube. And I take it as a personal slight. Please, guys, subscribe to my YouTube. Or, God forbid, I just gave you his Instagram handle. You're probably going to go subscribe to my Bulldog Groot. Because he's way cuter and more entertaining than I am. There's the rubber. You don't have to worry about painting them. Thank the maker. Unless, you're doing that front idler with the plastic stock wheel. But, yeah. So, other than the, just the front and the back of the lower hull, yeah, you'll be doing some camo jobs on there. That's fine. You could do that after you have the whole thing put together, or at least the lower part of the upper hull. The upper hull. It's just the upper hull. I say stupid things sometimes. So I say out drives. Some people say final drives. Transmission output shaft, final drive cover, output shaft cover. Sort of interchangeable terms, but certain militaries and certain nationalities have their way of saying them. So I apologize if I use the wrong term meaning the same thing, the right thing, but using a different terminology. So if you're in the UK or you're in the EU or Germany or China or Japan or the US, or Alabama, I don't know. I may say something different than you say it. So yeah. But yeah, the whole bottom, you basically just NATO green the whole damn thing. I'm going to get back into the instructions here. I'm going to put this abomination of a cool lower chassis at a view here. Oh man, I'm so pissed with Hong Kong RC for this. I mean, they went through all the trouble of making a damn mold to cast aluminum. Do you know how much money it must cost to build a mold to cast an aluminum part that big? It must have been a fair few bucks. And at no point in any of these meetings, even if they had a prototype done, like a puck, a blank, whatever they used to, finally make the mold. Because there's a lot of stages that go in before they make the mold. And at some point, it came up in the meeting, and they said, "Hey guys, yeah, you know what? This chassis tilts inwards at the top, and that's not going to allow it to properly release from a rigid mold that we've extruded cast aluminum molten metal into. And they go, just make it flat. It'll be fine. Duh. If that's what really happened, you deserve a bunk on your Hong Kong, King Kong, whatever RC heads. You know, little things, guys, little details. It's the devil is in the details. So, you know, poorly threaded, uneven depths of the screw holes inside the chassis tub, and now this glaring problem that is basically a guaranteed failure. Like, it's just, that's it. Whoever's built this tank with the Hong Kong RC chassis, whether you've used aftermarket idler arms or stock Tamiya idler arms, aftermarket idler wheels, stock Tamiya wheels, or you figured out what I'm showing and you've said, oh dear, these are very crooked. I can't fix, there's no way to fix this. I gotta drill it out and throw the Hentech idler right through. You know, and that's, I believe, going to be the ultimate solution, is that Hentech idler system. Since it is an index straight rod, you know, all the way through, it's a straight rod, that's level, it's going to come down, the wheels are going to go in, they're going to be level, there's adjustability in it, there's a lot of set screws, and you can move things and wiggle them around a little. It's my only logical option. My engineering mind, I'm not an engineer, but I have an engineering mentality about going through everything. I talked to the AC guy before, and I was talking to him about high head pressures and pressure cutoff switches and relays and stuff. And he's just like kind of sitting there going, "Oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. Why is he calling an AC guy for repair?" Well, I do automotive AC in an enthusiast level, just because I service my own weekend car's AC system. I'm intimately familiar with it, more so than I ever wanted to be. But either way, I own vacuum pumps. I have a AC gauge set with the red and the blue thing and the hoses that most people have no idea what it does. I'm not the guy that goes to VadoZone and gets like the can with the little gauge with the little green line on the gauge needle and the hose and just plug it in and pull the trigger. No, trust me, AC is way more complicated than that. And home AC, I don't have those necessarily the correct tools for that. I don't know what my system's charged with. If it's a 134 system, I could diagnose and recharge possibly certain things on it, but this is it's a train. Nothing runs like a train. Nothing runs like a train. Nothing crashes like a train. I'll tell you. Nothing runs like a train. Yeah, the trains run great until they derail and just either cause a chemical spill or kill a bunch of passengers or take out a whole bunch of unsuspecting parked vehicles somewhere in the Midwest or wherever, Philadelphia, I don't know. Yeah, my AC unit was texting while operating. So yeah, it is what it is. Life happens. Let's go ahead. We've done a bunch of things here. Why does this want us to already start cutting out photo etch parts? Like, we're not putting them anywhere. So yeah, we got our little back accessories glued on, we got our transmissions in, we got that done, we got our speaker. Somebody on the forums mentioned that I was full of crap about my speaker thing, not talking about the screws, but no, they literally totally omit anything about putting screws through the bottom of the box. They just show a picture of the box going into the chassis with lines, with arrows. But again, every step that requires hardware, they put the hardware required. MA 2x4, MA 4x4, MA 7x4 for the speaker. MB2 x 6 to attach two halves of the speaker box together. Next step, installing speaker unit. Push it in. You can't screw the screws in if it's together like this. Okay? You're going to put it in, and you're going to go, how do I screw it down? And you're going to figure out, oh, I got to open this thing back up, splitter open, and there's holes inside of here to screw them into these posts. Whatever. Dude on the forum, this is the instructions. Tell me where I missed it. You made it sound like, oh, you just don't know how to interpret the instruction. No, dude, sorry. Not starting a pissing match. You're just wrong. We're just missing steps here. That's it. That being said, son of a little bits of tape and things. Okay. Fiber optics, we're all done there. Headlights, we're done. Some front parts. I'll glue on I got we have got these tiny little eye hook loop things and these little corner lamp protector bars. Those are coming in from Germany. Hopefully we'll be here Saturday. Otherwise, I guess I got like 2 bits to glue on to the front. And then this is all done. We've got the plates in. We got all the fiber optics done. Side skirts. Okay, well, bolt on the side armor skirts and maybe the mud flaps. And then I guess we start putting the top. No, we can't put the top on the bottom. I could start doing some things at the top, but I got to paint the bottom. So yeah, here we go. We'll get some stuff done. 20 minutes already I've spent kvetching. That's a Yiddish, Jewish, New York kind of kvetching. It's good. Try it on your wife or husband one day. Honey, stop your kvetching. Quit your kvetching. They'll have to look it up. It'll be fun. I'll BRB. I'll tell you that right now. But either way, you can follow him, or you can follow me, or you can follow both. We'll both appreciate it. The dog doesn't give a crap. He doesn't even know what Instagram is, obviously. But he gets offers for free dog collars and stuff already. I get nothing. I get a, hey, I like your video, or hey, shut the hell up and stop talking so much. Whatever, I get comments. His comments are like, oh, you're so precious. Oh, you're the cutest thing ever. Oh, here, let's send you a free dog tag or a free collar. Or you want to wear a bandana for a good Oh, the life of a bulldog, especially in Georgia. It's a charmed life. We cater to as every woman need. I used to have, well, some of my needs catered to. That kind of stopped once we got the bulldog. It kind of stopped when I'm getting too far into things. But either way, cater to your own needs, but do what you think is right. As far as subscriptions and followings, for me or my bulldog, Groot would appreciate it as well, I guess. But either way, that's a Private Ian signing off from Tank Duty tonight. I'll catch you on the flip side, guys. Yeah, keep it clean, keep it healthy, keep it frosty. I'm getting into aliens. Ooh, it's a movie trivia time. Not this episode. Maybe next time. Yeah, whatever. Oh, God, I have no good closer. I hate when I don't have a good closer. Except, it's 90 degrees back upstairs in the real world in my house. So, just chuckle to yourself that I'll be just sweating my butt off. Later, guys.